I just want to make a short video just to sum up the last few videos that I made. You know, a lot of people might be thinking about, should I start to have a prayer devotional every day? But I don't have time. How could I do it? If you know what the actual basic laws are, you could technically fulfill your absolute minimum requirement every morning between 5 and 10, maybe 15 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes maybe in the afternoon, maybe 5 minutes at night. So we're talking about a total of about 20 minutes to a half hour every day to devote to God. Is that too much to ask when you think about everything that God gives you? Of course, it's a voilazach, it's the proper thing, it's a wonderful thing to daven the full davening. But to some people it looks like it's too much of a challenge. But if you just do what you're basically obligated to do, and for a man that includes putting on tefillin every weekday, if he's married or if he comes from a background that follows the older traditions, puts on the talis every day, even if he's not married, and according to the Ashkenazic tradition, outside of the yakas, even then it's just when you're married, but that's neither here nor there. But on tzitzis also, even if you just spun the tzitzis for davening, you don't want to wear it all day, but it's good to wear all day, the talis cotton. But to take 5-10 minutes in the morning to say just the basic requirements, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes in the morning, to put on talis and tefillin, say basic requirements, even if it's on a break during, like this time of year, we change the clocks, could even possibly be done on the lunch break. It's not the ideal thing, but it's something possible to do. Is that too much to ask? Is that too much? When God gives you everything, is that too much? And if you really think about it in an honest way, no, it's not too much. You can do it. And there's really no excuse not to, especially if your Jewish identity means enough to you to identify as a Jew. That means, what does it mean, Yehudi? What does it mean to be a Jew? It means to give thanks to God. That's what the name Yehuda means. This time I give thanks to God. That's what Leah said when she gave birth to Yehuda, to Judah. That's why we're called Jews, because we're a people. That's what our lives are all about, is thanking God. So don't let it be too much, Don't feel overwhelmed to the point where you say, I'm not going to do anything. Whether it's just a start or whether it's what you plan to do for the rest of your life, you never know what it's going to be. Either way, it's definitely better than nothing. That you put on the tefillin, you say Shema, Shemona Esrei. You say Shema twice a day, you say Shemona Esrei 3 times a day. You say the morning brachas, you say Ashrei. You say, before the Kriya Shema brachas in the morning, you say Baruch Shamar and Yishtabach, even the shortened version of the Birkas Kriya Shema. You accomplished something big. It's something you can be proud of. Maybe you can't make it to shul, maybe you can't make it to minyan. Alright. It's maybe not for everybody. But every Jew, man and woman, say bracha on that. And the man said, Rabbi, don't you know, I'm not religious. That's the least of my worries. And the Vilna Gaon said, no, you're going to have to answer for that bracha. He didn't say just like every other action. It's not like you get a free card that says, I'm not frum. I can do whatever I want. Frum people also make mistakes. Frum people also do sins. Everybody does sins. But you can't go and say, I'm not frum, so this doesn't apply to me anymore. There's no such thing. Someday you're gonna have to answer to every day that you put on tefillin, to every bite of not kosher egg. See, you might have an answer. I wasn't raised that way. I didn't know any better. I'm sorry. That's really the big answer. I know I should have, and I feel bad. And if you say that answer, at least while you're still alive, at least that counts something for tshuva. Rabbi Victor Miller, he said, imagine a person his whole life he didn't keep any mitzvahs, and then the last second before he dies, he decides to say Shema Yisrael just in case. And what a tremendous reward he's going to get for that Shema Yisrael. Alright, that's all good and fine, but can you imagine what bigger a reward it was that he said Shema Yisrael every day? Twice a day. But the fact is that Shema Yisrael that he said before he left this world, someone who in our story that we're telling here, it saved him from being totally lost. So so don't wait. Live each day to the fullest. You don't have to wait till the end. You can live a fully Jewish life right now, and you don't need to be, again, people, they see how many people in the Orthodox community conduct themselves, which is a wonderful thing. It's a praiseworthy thing. It's a righteous and holy thing. But certain things that are not necessary, that are wonderful, righteous, and holy, to some people it seems like too much. You have to understand what's the basics. I know a rabbi, when he was a kid, his father rather reluctantly allowed him to go to Hebrew school, and he didn't want him to. But the child was interested in religion. Parents weren't. And the father told the rabbi who was teaching his son, I don't want him to do anything extreme or fanatical like putting on tefillin. And when going back and telling the story, the man who grew up to be a very learned rabbi, he said now he puts on 3 pairs of tefillin every day. I'm not as good as him. I only put on 2, but myself. But what does that mean? What's this all about? Putting on tefillin every day. I'm not talking about things. Why not? All right, well, thank you for watching. And Chazak v'Ematz, don't be overwhelmed. You know, the same thing with kosher. Main thing, as long as you always eat kosher meat and you don't mix meat and milk, and you have kosher wine or grape juice, just about everything else, even though I'm a Chassidish Ingerman, I keep, glatt kosher and Chalav Yisrael, Pas Yisrael, all these things, but you can find a heter for almost anything as long as the meat is kosher, doesn't necessarily have to be glatt, and as long as you don't mix meat and milk, and stuff that comes from Israel is a different issue. But I'm saying outside of Israel, and whatever wine or grape juice you drink is kosher. Even with that, now that wine and grape juice is made with machines, if it's pasteurized before anybody touches it, it's probably technically kosher according to some opinions. You can find various opinions, but it's not that hard. It's not that hard. You like bacon, so you have turkey bacon. I don't know. I never had as far as I can remember in my life, so I don't know. I like the parva bacos, the vegetarian and kosher. But it's even a lot of the shellfish things. There are kosher fish that I've heard. Again, it's not something that interests me so much, but everybody has their own thing. There are types of kosher fish that have similar tastes, what I heard, maybe it's not exactly the same, but it's similar, I don't know. It's not that hard, If you're married, your wife going to mikveh, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Shabbos, also, if you learn what's basically the halachas, and I know it's going to get controversial because a lot of times the lenient opinions just aren't taught, and they probably shouldn't be taught for various reasons, but if you really learn, in the end it's not really that hard. You can find lenient opinions in a lot of things that are halachically valid. Again, I'm talking about what could make it possible for the average person who's Jewish, who's not frum, to live a basic halachic lifestyle. It's really not that hard. It's really not that difficult. And there are other things which people find, also, we should point out, even though we never use the term orthodoxy, and I don't like the term orthodoxy, but I like the idea that the issue is doctrine. We don't call ourselves Orthoprax Jews. We don't call ourselves doctrine, meaning also doctrine. The 13th, the closest thing that we have to dogmas in Judaism. What does it mean to believe it? Like Pascal's wager. Why? You can't prove a negative. You can't prove that God doesn't exist. You can't prove the Torah isn't true, even if you're not able to keep Torah. What does it hurt you as a Jew? What does it hurt you to believe that the Torah is true? Especially with all the strong apologetics that Judaism has to offer. What does it hurt you to believe people who are much more intelligent than you, people who are much more worldly than you, think you're so worldly, you're so intelligent, you went to college. Maimonides, do you ever read what he wrote? You ever take time to study the writings of Maimonides? Both his religious writings and secular writings, and many of the other, especially the great Sephardic rabbis. Study what they had to write. These were all men and women who believed in God, who believed in the Torah. And yet they were very worldly, very educated, very cosmopolitan people. It's not a contradiction in any way to at least to profess a belief that there's one God and that He gave us the Torah. Why is that hard? What does that rob you in your life to have this belief? You know, at least out of doubt, like Pascal said. You know, if it's not true, you have nothing to lose by not believing it. If it's not true, you have nothing to lose by believing it. And if it is true, you have plenty to lose by not believing it. You know, and if you really study what Judaism teaches, I saw a wonderful video, a brief video, much briefer than this one, already maybe a quarter of the length of this video, by Dr. Gerald Schroeder, a man who's probably a lot smarter than you. He's an MIT professor. Are you a professor at MIT? And he says that science has proven the idea of a creator that fits into the mold of what the Bible, what as Judaism understands it, describes as God. Yeah, whoa. This is scientifically, again, science is not dogmatic, but certainly we could say, you know, and maybe what he says is a little bit dogmatic and not totally scientific, but certainly there's room within science for belief in God. Many of the greatest scientists, the giants on whose shoulders all scientists today stand on, believed in God, believed in the Bible. You know, one of my favorite paleontologists, I always grew up loving dinosaurs, and, you know, probably my favorite paleontologist alive today is Dr. Robert Bacher. And I was amazed to hear that he is a Pentecostal preacher. And he's pretty cool, you know, it's I can see it, you know, but like, and he said, you know, all the scientists that we look up to, you know, Sunday morning were in church, and many of them were ministers themselves preaching the Bible. And now I don't agree with all of his theology and all of his ideas religiously, but the point is that you could be religious and scientific. You could be religious. There's no contradiction to any of these things. And even you attend a Reformed temple or a conservative temple, there's nothing wrong with you to put on tefillin every day. And if it means that the women want to put on tefillin every day too, because to hate. I know people are going to be upset at me for saying that, but if the women put on tefillin every day, and also put on tefillin every day, at least it's a half win for the Orthodox side, if you want to play it politically. And really, yeah, there's reasons why women don't put on tefillin. There's many reasons, but just the same, it's not the end of the world. You know, especially people who grew up, it's already second, third generation that they grew up like that. They're not going against their upbringing. You know. Well, thank you for watching. God bless you. Please like, share, and subscribe. I know I probably upset everybody with this video. That's not my aim. My aim is to try to show people how It's not the end of the world. It's not so hard. It's not. Don't think it's so hard to keep Torah mitzvahs. It's not. Pray 3 times a day, to keep Shabbos kosher. Pick something. Try to show God your devotion. God does everything for you. You can't do, and the thing is that God's not telling you do this for Him. He's telling you do it for you, because your life is going to be better. That's the truth. God doesn't get affected. God's life. God doesn't change. God is perfect. It doesn't matter to God what you do. What matters is that He loves you and He wants you to be happy, and so He gave us a gift of the Torah because He loved us so much. All right. Well, thank you for watching. God bless you. Please like, share, and subscribe. And all the best.